And we actually go build custom stories for these students based upon their reading age, their reading level, their interests. And then what we do is we use the power of speech recognition, and we take those sounds that they struggle with and we integrate them into the story. If they're consistent with reading, I would expect to see improvement in the first couple months.
Welcome everyone, this is Ekaterina with Trust Me Mom. Today I'm excited to welcome to my show Scott Sosso, the founder and CEO of Luca.ai. Scott, welcome.
Thank you.
Scott, can you tell us more about what Luca.ai is?
Yeah, it's an AI-powered reading tutor that uses speech recognition technology, machine learning, and AI to generate dynamic stories for kids that really struggle with reading. We wanted to provide students with an engaging opportunity to find stories that they really wanted to create and make on their own using the power of AI.
And can you tell me the story behind this tool?
Yeah, so my son, actually, his name is Luca, and Luca was diagnosed with dyslexia, and we started our journey back in 2012. And he was struggling with his reading, and we were going to the school, trying to work with the schools to figure out what is exactly going on and how can we help solve those issues. And as a fellow parent that has a daughter with dyslexia, I'm sure you know the challenges that we go through as parents to try to find those resources for our kids to help support them so they can succeed. And so we went through that journey, and I found out as we went through those years, many parents are doing the exact same thing and struggling the exact same way that we were. So I did some more research, and really back in 2020, I started to identify that there was an opportunity within the space that, for parents, specifically parents, as well as schools, to help these kids using the power of technology. At that point, AI wasn't really a big thing going on, but I knew that was really the direction I wanted to go. So I actually partnered with Carnegie Mellon University. And for the last 3 years, we've actually been building this platform, and really excited where we are with it today. So,
can you tell me more about your advisory board? I saw you have some scientists from Carnegie Mellon, but also some medical doctors and educators. Tell me more about your team.
Yeah, so when we put together the team, I mean that's the most important part is identifying people that really understand the topics in their specific areas, as well as understanding, bringing together people that can help bring a solution to the market. We put together a really great team from CMU from a technology perspective, both in the world of AI and speech recognition, natural language processing, machine learning. And then we also identified some medical advisors that really understood the how the brain works and how those neural pathways actually communicate information, how you actually learn how to read. That was very interesting learning for myself. And then we obviously, educators are really critical because they're the ones that are dealing with this day to day. They know what works, what doesn't work. So we brought all those people together in an effort to really to develop a solution that we know would be successful in the market.
Right. You don't have an app for the phone yet. So when do you think you'll roll out the phone app?
Yeah, I would say in the next 6 months, as we continue to evolve the platform and kind of integrate more technology into the platform, we'll be ready to roll that out in a mobile application, such as a phone. You can actually still use a tablet, for to read it on a browser, but for a phone, it's really kind of smaller. The print would be smaller the way we set up the reading screens.
You mentioned how you had a need, but what was the process of creating it, maybe testing, maybe working with some schools?
Yeah. So that was actually a long journey. 3 years of working with Carnegie Mellon. It was really exciting we've worked with some of the top minds in the world. These kids from all over the world come to the Carnegie Mellon to learn about machine learning and AI. So we were very fortunate to work with these kids and I basically brought my idea to the team, to the school, and worked with these individual groups of kids, and they really helped to evolve the platform and evolve the idea and kind of make it more a reality. And so over that, there was a lot of work that had to go in it. Every piece of the journey, we would accomplish something and then realize we needed about 10 more things that we needed to add on, including, partnering with some local schools here. We're based in Pittsburgh, partnered with a Providence Charter School, which was a dyslexia focused school. And they were really instrumental in helping us kind of understand the world, from their perspective. And so we brought them in as sort of a educational partner. And so that brought us to the next year, and we were able to evolve the platform some more, take some more of that information, work with some students there, which was great. We had some great feedback from some of the pilot students, and then we evolved the platform to the next phase. And so there was a progression each year that we took that was really, really exciting. And now we have a nice team together that is helping to take that product now to the next level. So
nice. Did you self-fund this process, or did you raise money from investors?
No, I've self-funded and bootstrapped the project till where we are today. So it's been it has been great journey just to go through the process and really try to build something that actually brings a real tangible solution to the market. We have not had any funding at this point, and we are looking to expand those opportunities when they come. We are definitely pioneers in this space right now. And there's a couple of different areas that make us different. One, we're using generative AI. We ask the readers engaging questions like, what's your favorite superhero? Or if you had to go on a vacation, where would be your favorite place to go? If you were going to fly to the moon, how would you get there? Would you fly on a rocket ship or hot air balloon? So asking these engaging questions, which we take those points and we actually go build custom stories for these students based upon their reading age, their reading level, their interests. And then what we do is we use the power of speech recognition, automated speech recognition, and we take those sounds that they struggle with and we integrate them into the story. So when we're building a story, it's truly personal for the individual reader based upon, again, if they're a fourth grader reading at a first grade reading level with those interests of flying to the moon on a rocket ship, that is really where our power comes in, because we're bringing in, speech recognition, AI, and then machine learning to develop all these custom stories for these kids. So it's a continual process that we go through. It's not just do it one time and do it 3 months later, do it another 3 months later. No, we're continuously assessing them. So as they improve, our whole platform is developing them a custom reading program to meet those needs as they achieve success with a certain, let's say, sound. Let's say it's the SH sound, or a sound that they're letter sound pair that they're struggling with. We would actually move them on and learn the next one that they need to learn. That's in what's called a scope and sequence for reading.
Okay, what would be the recommended frequency of using the tool?
Yeah, so there's a lot of research behind all the stuff that we've built, and evidence-based research, which is critical. And so one of those items is consistent reading. And with dyslexic students, it's really not even just dyslexic students, all readers. It's a learned pattern. You have to learn how to read. We're not naturally born and you magically know how to read. You have to learn the process, decode sounds, and the sounds, the letter sounds build to words. Words build to sentences, and sentences go on to paragraphs, and you can read stories. So it's really important that the readers practice 4 to 5 times a week. I promote 15 to 20 minutes. So it's really, really important if they can do that. And with these struggling readers, that's why this is like, go back to my son's example. He did not want to read. And I was like, how do we get him to read something, not only that he would like to read, but also at his reading level? So I wasn't going to give him a second grade reading book when he was in sixth grade, because he's like, I'm not interested in reading that stuff in second grade. So we had to give him, we had to find something that was going to be interesting to him at his reading level. So that's really where the genesis of all this has come out from. So it would give him more incentive to want to read, those 4 or 5 times a week. And if he's having those things meet that balance between what he's interested in as well as at his reading level, so he's not frustrated.
It's mostly first you focus on certain sounds and letters. How is it different, for example, from more traditional Wilson reading system or other system for dyslexic kids?
Yeah, so we're never going to replace the teacher. Okay, like that, the students still, the readers, especially struggling readers like dyslexic readers, still need to work with a specialist. What we're trying to do is be that reinforcement at home. So when you just asked the question about, how long do I need to practice, and now we're going to give them stuff that allows them to read something that's exciting and engaging, and at their reading level. So it's the key. The key is getting it at the reading level, because they just want to feel successful. We all want to feel successful, right? And if you're reading something and you're like, and it's just it's effort. It's really, really hard, because that is probably, one of the biggest things. I'll just say a little side story here. I went to a dyslexia simulation. Have you ever done one before?
Yes.
And that was a very eye-opening experience for myself. And I actually I was in a room with like 250 educators that do nothing but teach all these kids. And half the room was crying because they realized how difficult their students were, difficulty they were dealing with. So after I left there, that was a really eye-opening experience for myself. And I went immediately, saw my son, and I apologized, because I said I didn't really understand what you were going through. So I would encourage everybody that watches this to go through a simulation and understand exactly what challenges your kids are going through, because that will shape your mind and change maybe your approach as to how you think you can support your child moving forward. So
yes, you're right. It's a very eye-opening experience and shocking if you do not have dyslexia, and once you experience it, you have so much compassion and empathy for other people who have dyslexia.
Yeah.
So tell me more about, we talked about that it's useful to read at least 4 to 5 times a week, but when a person can start seeing progress or some measurable improvements after using your tool, how long should it take on average?
If they're consistent with reading, I would expect to see improvement in the first couple months. Absolutely.
Okay.
Just by making that consistent process of reading, you are going to improve. And that's really where one of the things that really makes us different is our speech recognition technology, because we're not just doing word level recognition. We're actually doing speech recognition down to the little letter sound pairs of the word. They're called graphemes and phonemes. And that is really what's going to make us different. So we can actually identify those little sounds that they're struggling with. And is it a PH or an F when they say a word? Or did they say the word elephant or lelephant? And we need to be able to say they missed the E. Right. So it's that speech recognition technology is really, really critical component of what we have, so that when we inform the reader that they missed something, we actually get it right. So that is a very important element of the technology that we bring in. But I would expect the readers to start to improve, see improvement with consistency in reading. I would expect to see them in the first couple months.
Scott, who will benefit the most from using your tool? Is it mostly for elementary and middle school kids, or can high school and adults use it as well?
What way we built the application, because we're using generative AI, we can work with kids and adults. So it's really about generating stories that are interesting to each one of those groups. And so what I would tell you is that we built the platform so that we can start with a student when they're in first grade or second grade, but also continue through their schooling journey so that as they're improving every year, they can use our platform. We can automatically increase the difficulty for that reader, so they can continue to be challenged and improve. So yeah, but there is a huge market for adult learners that are not proficient in reading. And so, yes, we absolutely want to be able to provide a solution to them as well. And that's honestly back to my son's story. There are so many kids that got left behind with COVID. They didn't get the reading skills that they had because they were stuck at home. These kids have been left behind, and everybody's trying to get them caught up. And so this is really a great application that allows those kids, as well as kids that have been misdiagnosed or not diagnosed in the school system. What most people don't understand is that 1 in 5 kids has some form of dyslexia, but 80% of them go undiagnosed. And with 80%, that means those kids are going through school not getting the academic support they need. So that's really where we think there's a huge chunk of students that are just languishing in the school system, and they're just a slow learner, they're slow readers. No, they have an underlying issue that has not been diagnosed properly, and they're not getting that support they need.
Right. I saw on your website that this tool could be used by parents at home or those who choose to homeschool their kids, as well as there's an application for schools and teachers. So tell me more about the use of the tool and how you grow your presence with schools, and how the adoption process is going with the schools.
Yeah. So we have a couple pilot schools that we set up originally, and we're working with them now. But I really initially designed the tool for the consumer market specifically because I knew as a parent I was looking for a solution that was pretty easy for me to implement, for my own child, because schools have other solutions, but not all schools are equipped like a dyslexia focused school like Providence Charter School. They have specialized teachers and specialized curriculum for these students that really, really helps them improve their reading skills. But not all public schools and not all parents are fortunate enough to have that access to that kind of education. So that's really where the tool is. It was really designed to help families at home, to help kind of support whatever was going on in the schools. And but as we evolved, we obviously want to focus on schools and be able to provide a support tool to the school systems as well.
Do you think kids with 504 plans or in an IEP program, when sometimes they're pulled from a classroom and escorted to a different classroom where they have to read their special program, so do you think they will be using your tool there, or could it be combined with the general classroom with all other kids? What is your vision for implementing this tool in the school system?
Yeah, so we think this can be a reading support tool that can be in conjunction with existing curriculum programs that are out there, like Wilson Reading Systems, like Orton Gillingham, or there are many, many other programs that are out there in the public school system that the IEPs utilize those special reading tutors that are in the public school system that they work with. So we view this as a support tool, not to replace those existing systems. And we're really where we provide additional value is actually bringing it to the publishers that I just referenced. And so because they do not have a technology piece that brings in the power of generative AI and the power of speech recognition. So we can bring all of those tools and provide that as a solution that would allow them to bring that to the school system in a more efficient manner.
I assume there's a subscription model.
Yes. It's a monthly subscription model. So this is not static content. We're not selling just printed stories that you buy a book and you reproduce that book 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 times. Every story we generate is a new story that we've never seen before. So we're using the power of AI and generative AI And so we do have a monthly subscription fee that, for both schools as well as for parents. And we actually are really excited about launching some new programs that are coming up. We just finished with Carnegie Mellon's our third year group, and we're actually going to be incorporating images into the stories. So as we generate these new stories every story is just, we've never seen it before, but now we're going to actually bring in images that really are going to bring the stories to life. So we're really excited about that.
You have a storybook with a personalized and custom story plus personalized images. That's really fun.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, and again, just like the students get to customize the stories that they like to read, we're going to have the same thing with images. So we'll have different ways for them to select the image type that they like. Do they want a cartoon character, or do they want something that's more, it'll be all based upon the age of the reader. So again, if we're back to the adult reader, we actually would have the option for them to have characters that would be more their age, as opposed to maybe something that would be more geared towards a 10-year-old.
Scott, can you share some success stories with me and my viewers? I assume your son improved a lot using this tool, but also maybe you can share other stories as well from the community and people who used your product.
Yes, absolutely. So I'd love to just share a little story about my son, and he's now in high school, and super proud of him because this year he's actually named to the National Honor Society. And so, for all those parents out there that have been, our early stages of just starting out this journey with their child, and trying to help navigate the challenges of reading and dyslexia, don't feel there's not any hope, because just keep continuing to work and support them. And here's my son. I mean, he was super excited. I was super proud of him. And it just makes you feel good, because all that effort kind of worked out. So yeah, he's done great, and he's improved. I would also say that we have a number of parents, as we are early startup. We do get great feedback from parents who give me feedback about how their child's progressing. And so I'm excited to say that getting, positive feedback from them, and, that they like the stories, they're engaged. Because to me, that's the number one thing. If I've got an engaged reader or child, that tells me that they're going to be more likely to want to read it. So we are seeing engagement. We've generated over 3,000 stories, in our first couple months of just having the application live. So it's really nice to see that activity happening and more engagement happening every day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.